Hello. What's up, guys? Knock knock.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं.
Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop.
Come with me if you wanna game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Now, you guys saw the first half, 7-5 in the favor of Reckoning Esports. Definitely not the results that we expected, but yeah, it is what it is. Reckoning Esports have done an immaculate job so far. The amount of hard works they have been putting in inside the entire tournament, from the lower bracket now till the grand finals, it seems like everything's paid off for them. And even for them, it seems like the stars that were aligned in the favor of OG, even though despite all the odds were stacked against them, they're still able to fight against the odds.
They fight against the odds, they fight against everything, and I think for the first time in a very long time, OG are facing enough where they did not have the advantage.
एक second रुको guys.
I think this is the first time someone's overtaken them in the first half itself, so yeah, kudos to Reckoning, but let's see if they can keep this lead up or not. For now, they're using all that they can to pressure Antidote, and he cannot escape. Bitten, flashed, and cut off by the water from his teammates. OG make a bold push out of the high tide. They catch everybody from Reckoning off guard. And it's up to Harsh somehow to make his way into the site. And he's able to shoot his way to success. But still, Tesseract has been quite successful in clutching, but not today.
How did they pull that back? I thought OG had it under control. But then these final two glimmers of hope, these two big pillars that they have, they turn the tide in their favor. What a play, man. Reckoning Esports able to win the second pistol round of the game. Look at this. OG started off with a three-man advantage. And then Reckoning Esports, Tristan Hirsch, these two guys single-handedly flipped the table, flipped the script in the face of OG, and they won that pistol round too. You can see the face of the coach of OG. He clearly knows how valuable that round was for them.
Absolutely valuable. This might just give them the ability to reach double digits much before OG can catch up. And now they know that OG is on an eco, so they will also try to take their sweet time, avoid walking into any of these traps. Antidote making first contact. He's seen them fall back from C right now, and he should be able to relay the information about the A hit. But will Rofiel be able to act on that information? I don't think so.
ये शिवी है क्या?
19 HP only, man, not looking that
शिवी देखा तुम बहुत पीछे हो मैं हूँ.
And now, as this
और
anti-eco
annotations
continues,
बंद करो
Reckoning
ना,
Esports
noob हो
of
गया.
course having all the advantage so far in
सीधे
the
वो.
attacking side. Reckoning Esports
और तुम
were
बहुत
able to
पीछे
breach
हो,
the
शिवी
site
देखेगा तुम्हें
perfectly.
अभी
No,
audience में.
but if
Round
OG
के
are going to hit shots like that, things are going to get even more complicated. RK
Yellow
reaching
t-shirt.
from that wall action as he does that. He gets met with a lot of bullets. Another good flash from the side of Reckoning Esports, and that's going to give them the site confirmation. Nicely done. I mean, the post plants played perfectly from Reckoning. Even the Reckoning supporters are quite a lot. So yeah, an electrifying moment in the history of South Asia. These two teams, legendary teams, meet against each other. The Wolves versus the Apes. And so far, the Wolves have got their
मैं तो कहती हूँ RG ना
It's Wolves and Apes. You know this game is going to be wild.
wildlife.
Harsh जीतेगा.
Joke in there somewhere. But I'm glad to see that even the Reckoning fans are starting to make some noise over here. It can be quite overwhelming to go up against the loud OG crowd.
बहुत ज़्यादा पीछे हूँ मैं.
They're trying to prepare for this one.
I know.
Doesn't read all that much, but
तू
that's
X
okay.
पे चला रहा तुम बस हो गया खत्म.
As they cut off the tip of the spear, they send the rest of them back to the garage, and Origi sends them packing back to spawn.
खाली कर दिया भाई.
Well, I guess that's how quick it was for OG to once
ऐसी
again
बुलडॉग
turn
चलाना
the
सीख
tide
जाए
in
हमारे
their
players
favors,
तो
but
क्या ही बात है.
considering it was just a bonus round for the opponents, you can't really say a lot, but OG's crowd, man, it's hard for me to even hear my own words. That's how loud they are. Imagine the arena right now. It's going to be shaking with the amount of these apes are making.
It's not too late, ladies and gentlemen. You can always go ahead to bookmyshow.com and get to the arena. It's just the first map. It's going to be a long best of 5 series. You can still make it over there if you're in Delhi.
Sorry, ganda आवाज फटी.
Yeah, if you're in Delhi, though.
तुमने ओमन वाला स्टिकर देखा अभी? Never mind.
You guys have missed the opportunity. Oh, what a quick flick. Rafael once again. Yeah, once again, a fiery start for OG.
Doodly 10.
Another one could be on the cards over here. They know that Rawfield's over here, so they will do their best to avoid the operator. That's exactly why Trist is trying to make a play that RVK was always making. Just stay on the edge of C and look for opportunities. For now, they're just looking for information. The drone does get one tag, and that's a little bit of information revealed. But I'm pretty sure that OG can still smell the reckoning esports players around them. They're doing their best with Aziz's utility to figure out whether they've fallen back or not. And RVK knows that there could be a potential C hit coming and he won't be able to hold it by himself. So it's best that he gives up the site and regroups with his team for the retake. Of course, they have the man advantage going into the retake, so it shouldn't be a problem for OG.
Spike planted.
Spikes planted 2-9-6 the scoreline. Both the teams are now going to start to feel the nerves and look at the flank from her. She's on the lurking point, but really good recon dart just to make sure that the opponent's not going to be outside. But Hirsch was waiting for him, and he's also going to be able to knock on the doors with a lot of threat now available for the players of OG. Going for random spams. The defuser's being stuck as well, made it all the way to the halfway. And Reckoning Esports, now they will need to make it clear enough, bold enough against the players of OG, and Flapper single-handedly, he takes all of them down one after the other. Shots not connecting, but in the end it's okay. Raw Fuel's gonna be in the back. They sweep it under the rug. Nicely done, and also maybe a free operator if they want to pick up, but a lot of those times people don't really pick up ops on the attacking side. But hey, who are we seeing? Sukumal in the crowd as well, and he's actually supporting Reckoning Esports.
He's always been one to root for the underdogs. Orangutan, like the trivia suggests, they are yet to lose a map in the CSA Split 2, and this might just be their first loss.
जो बाकी ascension चल रहा है regions का उनका
Not
आपस
the
में
right
होगा
way to
शायद.
start the finals.
और वो उन लोग में से जो qualify होगा वो कहाँ जाएगा?
Conditions very active. They knew that Twist will just be able to hold down the defuser with the snake fights. And Harsh was acting like the X Factor. He was the one who gave up his own life and tried to make the lives of OG uncomfortable in that post-plan situation. Harsh can't make any of those plays. His teammates will have to lead the charge. And Trailblazer that's being used by Aziz, it doesn't really spot too much, but still, OG know that Reckoning are right around the corner.
I suggest you move. Reckoning used, and now OG will be forced out of sight. A free site control in the taking for Reckoning, but look at Aziz, he's still on top of the side, and at least he gets straighted out, so that's a good news for Reckoning. But there's Rafael on the opposite side as well, only down to 15 HP, but Hirsch once again from the back scoops them up. And Reckoning, out and over, they've got the site control, and with only 3 up, OG with only 2 players don't exactly know what the game plan's going to look like for them, considering now there's also a lockdown being initiated. So OG now will need to fall back and respect that, and probably will go for the save too. Nicely done by Reckoning all the time, able to force out the players of OG, and so far, none of us expected this, but this game is looking like a one-sided affair.
And OG just simply don't know how to hold on to these sides. I mean, they had all the information. They knew that Reckoning are going to commit to this A site, and yet they can't really do much. Whenever Rafael tries to make a play of some sorts, he has to jump through so much utility, jump through so many of these walls. He just simply doesn't get to peek comfortably. And if that's not enough, the Harbor Ultimate makes it nearly impossible for OG to continue holding angles or maintaining crossfires. They're doomed if they stay, they're doomed if they leave. Reckoning on making them run out of options.
Sorry, आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही Discord पे?
मैं बोल रही हूँ तब से भाई reply नहीं कर रहा है. हटाओ मेरी आवाज.
हाँ बोलो.
Hear the chants.
The arena. It devolves down into a contest of chanting louder.
I'm having goosebumps.
I swear, dude, I wish I was there.
Me too, man. It would have been such a fun affair. if we were over there too. But it's okay. We're still having a lot of fun casting these grand finals. A moment that we all were waiting.
ये क्या है? बफर हो रहा है.
For, but so far we're seeing quite an astonishing result. I mean, hey, my pick is Reckoning Esports.
अरे quality भाई,
And
क्या
this is the map
quality
pick
है ये?
of OG. They had the opportunity to ban 2 maps and have the first pick as well. So they had their lay of the land, but now Reckoning Esports are laying down the law. Knocking on the doors of B once again. This is gonna be a fast hit, but it's not a full-blown commitment from all the players. There's two players holding back. Aziz gets stunned, hit by the Trailblazer. It's Rothfield who somehow comes to the rescue, but he can't do anything. The post plant, it will not be here yet. The Hunter's Fury was thrown in just to make sure that Reckoning Esports don't get the opportunity to plant that spike. But they are in no hurry to do so.
The only reason why OG are getting caught off guard is because they're so used to making wild plays like that. You saw Rafu just straight up dashing in the side. Even AZ's just still staying quite adamant to resist that side control all by himself. He was there. It's because for OG, those type of plays have always worked out. But this time against Reckoning Esports, it's not actually, because Reckoning Esports, whenever they're going, wherever they're going, they're always going with a pack. They at least have someone else backing each other's back. And that's why OG never able to do anything against any player of Reckoning Esports so far. Only if they're able to find isolated duel, that's when Reckoning Esports are sort of falling shy. But still, to find those isolated duels, it's really tough against Reckoning with the play they're playing so far.
Reckoning Esports having never experienced the comfort of
an
upper bracket match, never having experienced the second chance opportunity available to them. And then on the other hand, you have OG. They've never faced the hardships of the lower bracket. And when these two teams who've been forged in different kinds of environments face against each other, you could really see why going through that lower bracket is helping out Reckoning Esports. They've had to adapt and reinvent themselves so often against every single opponent. Finding out how OG works is basically second nature to them now.
Voya with the Seekers and Deadly 10 with the Blade Storm. They're looking to put an end to this entire first map. And OG so far, they're struggling to even get a single round win on the second half so far. A really good way to take the main control, and now Tesseract will need to respect that. First time you see the players of OG not exactly going for a straight up duel, but what a shot from Deadly. Once again, a great way to open things off, and now Tesseract's gonna tuck himself too short, but still, so far, Reckoning Esports, they haven't really moved in deep yet. Instead, they're going to decide to fall back. That was a little fake presence, and they've also managed to pull away a rotation. Hurst gets the second frag, and Tesseract out of the board as well. Big threat neutralized. AZ's and Tesseract out the gate, and now one more to go in the name of Rafu, who can put in a lot of work.
At first instance, OG are thrown into a sense of panic as they start losing all their members. And then to figure out whether their opponents are really hurt or not, they try to go ahead and find information, again getting punished in the process. And just like that, OG are being pushed and pulled into different directions. They are being thrown out of their comfort zones into the deep end of the pool where they will most likely drown, crumbling under the weight of all the pressure the Reckoning put upon them. The unlikely contenders step up. The team that has gone through the lower bracket now giving OG their first map loss in the entirety of Split 2.
Wow, I'm so happy for Reckoning Esports. The start they've had in the grand final so far. The first map being able to win so one-sided. And OG, that's the first map they've dropped inside Split 2, ladies and gentlemen. And not the place where you wanted to drop a map, inside the grand finals itself. So yeah, now OG, the panic's gonna start to settle in as they are gonna start to feel their nerves as this tournament keeps on progressing on. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is quite electrifying and I'm quite excited. But you know what, now it's time for us to push to a short break, so we'll be right back.
चलते रहने दो, जाते हैं गेम में. ए पपी को करने देना, क्या कर रहा है वो?
कुछ भी नहीं कर रही
जा
हूँ
अंदर
मैं।
जाके बैठ जा। जा
आराम से उठा है, प्यार से एकदम उसे
हाँ,
भाई।
डरा के उठा है।
तो वो डरता रहता है, मैं क्या करूँ भाई? मैंने बहुत प्यार से उठाया उसे, टच भी नहीं करती मैं उसको, बिल्कुल टच नहीं करती हूँ भाई।
पपी तू मेरे चेयर के नीचे आके बैठ। पपी पपी मेंजी मेंजी एसी लावलाय ना, ये इकडे। मेंजी एसी लावलाय ना, बस इकडे। हाँ इकडे बस, माझ्याकडे बस। ये गुड बॉय
डरता है भाई एकदम।
ये देखो कितना मस्त आके बैठ गया यहाँ पे प्यार से।
एकदम
बैठ
फट्टू
बैठ
पपी है, एकदम फट्टू पपी है।
चोचू बेटा, चोचू पपी है तू। चुप। हमने लो पपी। हाँ चेंज कर रहे हो चेंज।
एकदम
ये
डरपोक
आया क्या
पपी है
रे?
गाइस
हमने
इसका।
लाया क्या?
पता नहीं, देखा नहीं। क्या कह रही हूँ मैं? एकदम डरपोक पपी है।
तुम डरपोक,
फट्टू पपी।
तुम फट्टू।
क्यूट पपी नहीं।
चाचा चूचू।
हेलो एसन, व्हाट्स अप? कितना टाइम है भाई नेक्स्ट मैप में? तुम्हें शर्म आई सोने से पहले वापस?
नहीं।
ठीक है, गॉट इट।
गिल्टी का थैंक यू फॉर सर्विस हो गया। अरे सॉरी भाई, गलत लगाया। रुको ना, करती हूँ ना सही। ऑडियो डिले नहीं रे, ऑडियो वीडियो डिले तो नहीं है।
व्हाट्स योर प्रैक्टिस रूटीन? कुछ फिक्स नहीं है ऐसा। प्रैक्टिस रूटीन एज इन मतलब अच्छे से पूछो, नहीं समझा मुझे।
मुफू डार्लिंग व्हाट इज योर प्रैक्टिस रूटीन, ऐसे पूछे वो? अच्छे से पूछो। द फक मैन।
अरे क्लियरली
तुम तो अच्छे से पूछो उसको पूछने के लिए।
अरे भाई समझा ही नहीं मेरे को क्या बोलना है।
उसको भी नहीं समझा रहेगा कि तुम क्या बोल रहे हो।
एक मिनट। अरे वैसे अच्छे से नहीं पूछना है भाई. नूब. वो पूछ रहा है भाई डार्लिंग व्हाट्स योर प्रैक्टिस.
ये सही पकड़े हैं. मजा आ गया.
क्या रे.
नाइस वन, नाइस वन.
Match found.
ए रुको भाई, करती हूँ चेंज थंबनेल करती हूँ, रुको. मेरे को एडिटेड अभी तक आया तो नहीं है, बट लुक्स लाइक यू गाइज आर वेरी 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 रेस्टलेस.
Death match. Warm up.
Time to take these arms for a spin.
Fight.
Keep up.
This game change is over for GE. No, it's not. This open is over. This particular qualifier is done. Actually, पूरा ही खत्म हो गया है. एक और क्वालिफायर है जुलाई में. All the best for that. Thank you.
They must.
Dominating.
गेम चालू हुआ क्या?
कैसे गांधी जी का डीएम है गांधी का डीएम बोलता है
Ten kills remaining. Five kills remaining.
Hello, Nihil.
One kill remaining.
खेलती हूँ मैं थैंक्स यार हाँ नो मैन जबरदस्त खेलती हूँ मज़ा ही आता मम्मा इसको कौन लेके जाएगा दादाला सांग ना प्लीज याच्यात चांगले नाही येते बघ ना खाली त्याच्यात येते घे इकडे जे खाली असं कपाट आहे त्याच्या खाली जे आहे ना पहिलंच हा ते आहेत ना त्याच्यातच आहेत टच प्रॅक्टिस हा सॉर्ट ऑफ ह्याच्यात आहेत बघ त्याच्यात ते आहेत का घरी आल्यावर कानातले इकडे तिकडे टाकायचे नाहीत जबरदस्त एक नंबर खेलती है चालू हुआ क्या रे नहीं हुआ ये हुआ ये नहीं हुआ I'll be right back. Okay, bye Arun. अरे तुम्हें करके आवाज करने की क्या जरूरत है उठने से पहले? बेचारा यहाँ बैठा था, वो डर के उठा है। बात बात पे पपी को डराती है। और मुझे तकिया लाके दो भी उठी हो तो जाओ। कुकी खाऊंगी, मोटा साड़ा। अरे कुकी टूटी है, दूसरी कुकी खाऊंगी। देना तकिया। नहीं चाहिए वो नहीं, मोटा साड़ा नहीं नहीं नहीं। अरे चालू हो गया है? ऐसा चालू ना कास्टर ना कुछ। आ जाओ जाओ गाइस, आ जाओ, झुंड बना लो।
But the frenzy in the close is striking the players down. A good trade though. Tesseract able to get things back under control into his teams, and now it's a 4-on-4. RVK looking to close the distance, but is soon enough going to get met with a lot of resistance, and that's what happens. Flabin takes him down in the close quarters.
No, but they're still not afraid of backing off. Flabin continues to push the envelope, and Roya gets the timing down to perfection. Tesseract was looking to set his teammates up for success, but now there's no teammates left to support, so it's all up to him. Him and his capable bionic arms. He knows where Roya is, but he's yet to find Harsh. And now with the fault line, he can probably figure out where he would be, but none of them are actually looking to face him. They creep and crawl around him, they surround him, and Reckoning take the pistol win once again.
These micro plays that Reckoning have, it's really just boggling the players of OG. You saw that in the end too. First Woya peeks out, and then Hirsch from the long once again peeks out. Those micro plays within the big plays are something that's really keeping the players of Reckoning Esports ahead of the players of OG. While OG, as I said, they're one of those teams that likes to keep things simple. And so far, that simpleness isn't really working out. They will need to start complicating things up and adapt this time at least once to Reckoning Esports.
Ah!
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh. I don't think think this is the right adaptation they required. It's a fast beat crunch once again.
What?
And OG are getting so many kills through the gaps in the smokes. They love doing this now, don't they? And Tesseract pushes out of the smokes. Okay, I knew they were adventurous, but not this adventurous.
Oh my god.
Will he be checked? He might just get the timing down to perfection, but he makes one sound cue and his position's driven away. And even though his opponents were staring down at him, he can still win the duel. Warrior has to tank that paint shell, has to isolate the fight, and he does it with the curvature of the smoke.
Nice
Antidote
play,
now has to find him once again, and he's able to get them. The smoke criminal activates his buff, and there are no handcuffs that can hold him down.
The smoke criminal indeed. Just moving through the smokes and playing like a champ. Peeking out from two different sides and keeping that anonymity at the same time. And Reckoning Esports able to get that round in the hand. Nicely done. Voya not missing a single shot. Too crisp with his aim. And able to clutch things and bring things back in his team's favor. Once again, Reckoning Esports at least being able to win that round, but still they're going to go for a bonus. As they've only got one Vandal on the board for themselves. It's a hero Vandal strat. Let's see how much of a value Voya's Vandal's going to find there.
Well, it's a quick pivot towards the A side, and OG can hear this coming a mile away. He'll put down the mollies. They'll try to buy some time. But the rest of the rotations of OG members are not here yet. They're doubling up towards Sand, which is the play for Reckoning as well. But as they try to drop out, they will drop to the floor like a sack of potatoes. Tesseract is able to get quite a lot done over here. But Reckoning have somehow stabilized. Now these two players are so far away from each other, they can't have any backup. At least Antidote's low on HP, so even the first touch of the Hellfire will kill him. But he dodges it. No problems at all. And he still gets the kill. My goodness, OG. Not only do they win the battle round, but they're also able to bait out a massive ultimate from Reckoning. That's a good win.
OG's crowd is feeling themselves, man, but you can see the players, they're not too expressive. They're not showing a lot of expressions because they know them losing the first map itself, it's something the players themselves would not have expected at all, considering they also had the map veto in their hands. But now OG, they need to start taking things a little serious and pull things back into their court once again. Good stun, gonna force Aziz back. Uses a little bit of panic satchel, paint shell, but it's not gonna be able to find a lot, or not gonna be able to get done a lot of things. And OG, at least they have managed to keep the main control for themselves so far. As the players of Reckoning Esports once again looking to walk on the site. A little shoulder spotted. RVK gets rid of the player in the front. Deadly 10 not inside the game anymore. And RVK keeps on striking down the players.
OG are putting in quite a lot of resistance over here. Simply not letting Reckoning Esports take even a foot into the site. And at least in the first two rounds, Reckoning were able to brute force their way into the B side. But now that they're trying to explore all their options, that firepower and momentum just seems to be missing. It isn't missing for Tesseract, certainly. He uses his own fault line and then swings out too. Doesn't even wait for Aziz to make a move along with him. Not that he needs any of them. They are capable of taking down Reckoning by themselves. No losses.
Now they're whiffing no shots, man. Every single shot on the dot. That's what OG is able to do. So far, the buy round for them has been perfect. And now it's 2-2, ladies and gentlemen. OG able to equalize things out in their hands. And this is where Reckoning Esports do. Now it's going to be a wake-up call for them. Flawless round, too, to close things off there. So, yeah, that's definitely good news. On the opposite side, though, Reckoning Esports, they've invested everything they've got on the board. So this round's way too crucial for them. And it's quite an interesting push as well, all the way from Arcade.
Indeed, it is a very interesting push, but it will be met with resistance. And RBK takes off the hat. Might as well take off his opponent's head with the amount of information they've got available. And he's looking to make that play once more. The flash doesn't save them at all. Twist dead to rights, and the orbital strike gets responded with a rolling thunder.
Wow.
Somehow Voya and Flappin still managed to make their mark. They survive all of this, and now the lockdown. It's gonna prop them, invite them into the waiting arms. down to 1v1.
तोड़ दे
This is the opportunity Flavin had been looking for.
अच्छा वो अपना
Spike recovered.
अरे
Still
एक
far away
second.
from Aziz, so he can go for that plant safely.
1v1 scenario. Aziz with 70 HP. Both the
अरे
players
nice.
soften up.
अरे
As
मैं noob हो गया.
Flavin, who's quick enough on the
ये
trigger,
attacking का
and shuts
अच्छा,
down
noob
Aziz.
नहीं हो.
Nicely done. Reckoning Esports. Another round on the board for them. Once again, as soon as they realize now that their economy is in a massive trouble, they pull the round back in their court. Things are kept so tight so far at the first half, and it seems like Reckoning Esports, even though sometimes it feels like the odds were against them in this round, it's still looking pretty nice. I like that placement of the lockdown too, and that's something that really helped Voya to win that duel, because he knew that the opponent player would be sort of distracted to take down that lockdown, and Voya peeked out as soon as the crosshair was on the lockdown, and yeah, just little 200 IQ plays that are being made.
Such a good response to all those ultimates. They thought they would drive Reckoning back, but instead, here they come, diving in.
Man.
Deadly 10 goes from drop all the way to the other side of that tall box, and he gets all of these kills. And OG have been trying to make these swing outs of smokes. They found decent amount of success in the past, but this won't work now. It won't work for the second time.
Indeed it won't. Hirsch towards Dish. And now that OG, they've gotten half of the site control, but they haven't gotten the main piece of the cake yet. And that's what they're looking to take into hand. Molly to make sure that he's denying the entire rotation from main. And here we go. The post plant's clicking to play. And Reckoning Esports out of nowhere, a flawless round. Such a quick one too to wrap things up.
And they knew exactly how OG would respond.
Sorry.
Basically not leaving anything up to chance
तो
over
बात
here.
करो भैया आवाज आ रही है हेलो अरे राउंड देख
They
के
make
बंद हो
that
गए
fast
थे
play work. The crunch, the crunches that Reckoning Esports were
मैं
doing
muted
towards
हूँ?
Arcade and B main were also working in the past. So
Hello?
they decide to go for something similar to its A this time. A crunch coming out from drop as well as A main. It's simply too good.
Hello.
Plus, you wouldn't expect a Jet to go on top of the tall box over there because it's
Hello,
such a
hello.
risky position to be in, especially when you have no information about where your enemies are.
वो ना भाई
So
बात हो
Deadly
रहा है ना
taking
मेरा
that position on top of that orange box was not something OG would have expected because it is a
अरे यश तुमने स्ट्रीम म्यूट किया है
They would have expected Reckoning to play to their senses, not recklessly like this.
अबे ओजी का कोच
I
कुछ
mean,
बोल ही
speaking
नहीं
of
रहा है
recklessness, there were times in the past where OG literally just swung out of smokes without any visual, without any information, and still were able to get a couple of surprise kills onto Reckoning. As soon as OG tried something similar this time, Reckoning were prepared for this one. You can't surprise them very often. They pick up these little traits and these tricks very, very quickly.
अच्छा ओके यश सही है
Esports once again it seems
मैं
like
क्या हम
deja
थोड़ा
vu
साइड
once
कर सकते
again.
हो क्या मैप नहीं दिख रहा अच्छा
Similar scoreline was there in the previous game too, where Reckoning Esports managed to get a 2 rounds lead for themselves. It felt like they had a cushion, but then when the first half ended at 7-5, in the second half, Reckoning Esports just started storming through. But this time teams have started off on the opposite side, so it's quite interesting. But a good way to click things off for Antidote. Starts off with a good tap onto the player. Her shut down. RVK gets away with only 5 HP, so he's quite softened up. So at this point in time, it's next to impossible for this man to survive, because there's a Tasmanian Tiger in the front who shreds him to piece. And a good shot from Tesseract to get a return frag onto Flavin.
Oh, nice.
Deadly survives that, doesn't even take a lick of damage.
Ooh,
Maybe the aftershock will force him out, and at least he takes 1 kill before the aftershock sends him down to the nether realms. The crossfire, it's not the best between the players of Reckoning Esports. They have to hold on to their own, and Antidote has to make this timing play work to perfection. He does. He hears the birds being activated. He hears Voya being distracted, and he strikes them both. The captain stepping up, striking while the iron's hot. He manufactures a weakness while Reckoning is distracted.
All the time, whenever OG is able to win those rounds is because they're usually just finding a good timing on the opponents and able to sneak into the angles where Reckoning Esports are not really expecting them to. But yeah, a good way to get that round in the hands too, as well. And this Thrifty, we know how much these little eco rounds, or as you can say, these rounds can make a massive difference.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you pointed out the timing thing, because honestly, that was the thing that was working for them in Haven as well. Lose 3 rounds in a row, try to make it off-timed B push. That will work for OG. That worked for them in Haven, might work for them over here too. Like I said, identifying these win conditions is equally important. And for now, Reckoning go and do what they have always done in the past, and that's always worked for them. A good old arcade push. They avoid all the trap fires of RVK. No gaps in the smoke this time, so OG can't fire straight shots and get freebies either.
Spike planted.
In case something goes wrong, there's an orbital strike available on both the sides, but you will have to wait for a Q to trigger all that.
Oh my god, OG, they're picking off the players, able to isolate, and that's what the main problem is. The isolation's being given away from Reckoning Esports. A good orbital strike from Flabin to at least buy a little bit more time, and also catches AZ's there. So I guess that's a good opening, definitely an opening the players were looking for. But now as the defense is being stuck, too, they're going to try to make it all the way to half. Good one. RVK stopped in the tracks, goes for a tap once again, but an orbital strike returned from the opponents. It's going to be on the board too, but it's completely fine. It's a one-on-one scenario, and now they're also going to go for their deep.
No timing.
Take it away, yeah. A couple of milliseconds more, and that could have been stopped in the tracks. Once again, man, it's just the timing working in their favor. Oh, dude. But if you talk about the tactical nature of the game and how Reckoning Esports are able to play and overall replicate the game, it seems like they're doing a fantastic job. And when you talk about the way they want to create the game and the way they want the game to proceed, Reckoning Esports is the one to sort of create the levels of the game, and then OG is the one to sort of find that little cheeky lucky spot for themselves and somehow able to come out on top. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the illusory nature of Reckoning Esports, it gets them the win quite often, but then OG hold a mirror up against them and they recognize their weaknesses. This is like something that's straight out of a fairy tale. We did describe Reckoning's story as a Cinderella run, but now you're really starting to feel the magic. As logic dissipates from the rounds, as Deadly 10 takes matters into his own hands, he might just find the timing once again. And OG, they've already made quite a lot of rotations and adjustments. Leading out step by step. Reckoning Esports start taking arcade control once again, and it's worked for them several times in the past. But look at this. Voya strikes, and this time he takes one more kill. OG, a double defense. What a jump up from Deadly 10. He is just running around like a bunny, but with a lethal weapon in his hands. Aziz somehow does recover, but there is just way too much ground to cover over here. Antidote sneaks past, but even he will be found. He hits the ground, and it's all up to Aziz.
That one completely won off of Deadly 10's heroics. He got 3 kills himself. Just able to cut off or at least chop off his enemy's heads. And now Aziz, the last hero, standing into a complete desert storm, and even he will be engulfed. Reckoning Esports, the beasts, are definitely just making sure that they're devouring their enemies one after the other, piece by piece. And so far, OG, they are making sure that they're going to give a resistance against a team like Reckoning Esports, but then Deadly 10 does this. How are you supposed to counter that?
Exactly, dude. I mean, it's not just Deadly 10 stepping up, but also the post-ban positions that Reckoning Esports are holding. You see in the previous round where they lost and OG was able to recover, that was a round where Reckoning Esports had 3 of their players playing one and done positions because they knew that even without the man advantage, they will be able to win. But this time, Reckoning Esports adjust. They play from the site and tower itself, backing each other up, knowing that there's no orbital strike available on OG. That's why they're able to take those positions. But look at the massive aggression coming out of OG this time. They have absolutely no remorse. They push deep down into its A main, and as a response, Reckoning take drop control. They're already in the backlines of A main, and OG have no way to check their backlines.
It's like OG are always a step ahead. If you're gonna take mid, they're gonna take dish. What? That instant adjustment once again able to adapt to the aggression of the opponent. And instantly you see Deadly 10 just straight up dashing onto the main. And now Deadly 10 too recognizing the fact that there's going to be antidote on the opposite side. Peeks out and puts the nail in the coffin right onto his dome. Reckoning Esports, another round. A force that's, of course, Reckoning Esports are able to deliver onto a perfect level. And now Voya's also got his hands on the lockdown. Well, you can consider that a free side take. I guess now a B take is going to be coming in where Voya will place a classic lockdown towards the underpass area.
That could very well be a possibility, but this round is pivotal for the entire narrative of the game. Up until now, OG were responding to whatever Reckoning Esports are doing, and they weren't exactly making aggro plays of their own. But the one time they try to do that, Reckoning Esports respond from the other side, and they take control of A by simply running OG out of the server.
ये turret ही तोड़ दिया आचार्य भाई.
Sorry to cut you off, but I was just saying that Rawfield's only got 1 kill, and you cannot even blame the fact that Rawfield's not performing. It's just Reckoning Esports really keeping things tight.
Yeah, they're keeping it a bit too tight. Just basically not going to find any opportunities.
अरे गया क्या?
Showstopper pop. This could be dangerous, but not even a lick of damage. And Flaben baits Aziz into a false sense of security. Aziz thought he had them dead to rights, but he couldn't be more wrong.
मस्त player लगा मुझे Flaben.
Lockdown used. RVK
Yeah,
from the back closing in too. Deadly 10 looks away at the nick of time, but at least he gets back to on the safer side. And now I guess the knife is gonna come in. Tesseract. That's humiliation. OG, nothing's working out in their favor. Now it's all down to RVK, the last player with only a bulldog in the hand. Good connections though. But an instant flash to return back, and RVK gets spammed through. What's going on? OG, they're getting humiliated. And once again, it seems like deja vu. I guess 7-5 will be the score.
Sheesh, dude. I expected good performance from Reckoning Esports, but this is just a bit too good. OG are overthinking themselves to death.
मजा आ गया भाई round में.
Oh, I can't see this again. You have to show this on replay. Seriously?
पीछे से पड़ रही
disgusting.
I mean, listen, this is a team that went through to the grand finals undefeated, and now look at what's happening to them. And Crips, it's crazy. I was literally talking about this. I said, okay, OG have made an immaculate run to the grand finals, but what if things don't work out at the grand finals? And I guess that's what exactly is happening.
OG this time having a semi-passive approach. I mean, on one end, they have Aziz pushed up towards A main, but that's about it. No other presence towards any other side of the map. And Reckoning are completely okay with taking things slowly. They know that OG will have some curiosity, some place where they would want to extend. But after 30 whole seconds of not seeing any activity towards A main, Aziz falls back. OG will put down a smoke over there to hopefully maintain control of the area that they worked so hard to acquire. But now they are stacking all their eggs in one basket, and the basket is labeled B. A 4-stack towards the B side is in progress, and Reckoning Esports are avoiding that area like the plague. They quickly go in towards the A side. Smokes deployed, Tesseract cut off from the action, and yeah, deadly updrafting also spots two enemies. So Reckoning basically get this side for free.
Yeah, once again. And they're just making it look so effortless too. Yeah, the paint shield's gonna deal a bit of damage, but Flavin's good enough. It's all good in the hood for this man. Good flash, and Hirsch will catch him slipping by. Raffel not able to fade away in time, and once again, Hirsch peeks out on the back of that. Nicely done. The breach so far has been a massive win condition for the players of Reckoning Esports, and now OG, they step their foot on the ground. And this is where it's all gonna break down into chaos for RVK. He loses his mate, but now is all by himself. Need to turn the tides, need to flip the script against the players of Reckoning. Is looking around, and Deadly 10 puts the nail in the coffin. Last man out of the gate as well.
He was looking to flip the script, but he has to flip his mouse 180 degrees to get the shot onto Deadly 10. Had to look in too many different directions at the same time, and he got pushed and pulled apart. This is like some barbaric funeral over here. What a lead taken by Reckoning Esports, manipulating OG into discarding their advantage away.
What's up?
And it's crazy, you've never seen OG play so laid back, so step back. They're respecting Reckoning. You've never seen this from the side of OG. They're actually letting the side control be taken away, but OG, they've got no other option. They need to play the side on retake. The amount of times they've tried to give resistance against Reckoning, even that's not working out. Even the retake's not working out. Now what are you supposed to do? I guess go aggressive once again, but this time set up each other for trades. That's the only way you're gonna get Reckoning Esports down on their knees.
Yeah, you definitely need to change something. And if they don't change something, they will be cut in half. Speaking of cutting things, you guys can scan that QR code as well and get that Philips One plate for yourself. But as for the match, we'll be back with the second half after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
चाचा चूचू
Bro, fridge meat के लिए है, heat के लिए नहीं.
Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop.
Come with me if you wanna get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
And once again, we're back. Where Reckoning Esports are able to play the perfect game of Valorant. It feels like they know exactly what moves OG are going to make on the chessboard. And Reckoning Esports, they're always a step ahead. As we move on to the second half in this pistol round. Once again, Reckoning Esports has to flip the script and flip the side as well. Now they're going to move to the defend. And we know Reckoning Esports on their defense have been one of those teams that is quite to be feared of. And they are going to make sure that OG will respect them.
Yeah, for now, OG respect the A-main push that Reckoning Esports are throwing at them. OG see 3 people at once and they instantly decide to pivot, which is a right move. But they try to re-aggress out of B-main. The flash would have been perfect, but somehow Delta 10 can't get anything done. Hey, but Reckoning still have the HP advantage. Rofuel Antidote are super low on HP. Flabin will wrap them up. And once again, Reckoning Esports get the man advantage.
Oh my god,
wait, did they really not see this?
What's going on? RVK, no, there's no way! He gets both of them!
No!
Dude, okay, I just lost my casting. What was that?
I have never seen that. Usually when there's opponents on the other side on the floor and you're on the ropes, it's a death sentence for you. But RBK, probably one of the first people to actually turn that rope push into a double kill. Absolutely unbelievable stuff happening here in VCSA. And somehow, Reckoning Esports lose their advantage back down to a 1v1. Harsh will stun him square in the face, but Tesseract just continues to blunt. Single burst of the classic should be enough to deal with this Sheriff, but he's pushing him out. Tesseract leaves nothing to chance.
He actually pushes against the player in the front. But still, Reckoning Esports, even though they lost this pistol round, it's not going to hurt them a lot. They've still got 3 rounds cushion left over. 8-4 was the first half, and on the back of that, Reckoning Esports, they can still lie safe and sound and quite nice, but this push from RVK, it turned the tide of this entire round and got those 2 kills. It felt like Reckoning Esports, once again, the stars were aligned for them in this pistol round too, but it's stolen away by that one single miraculous play by RVK, which shouldn't have worked out, but it did. And as I said, it's these lucky instances, it's these lucky timings where OG are really able to win those rounds, and that should be changed.
Exactly.
तुमने
I would have expected that to be a suicide play. I really thought this rope will turn into RBK's news. But no, turns into a cowboy, gets a double kill. Flabin inside the smoke. I mean, at least at this range, the classic burst can do something, but Aziz is picking him off midair. Maneuvers into the site effortlessly. Loses only 2 bullets worth of HP, and just like that, OG are once again in the driving seat.
Abhi snacks mein. हाँ मैं वही
Last
बोल रही थी
man,
इसको तब से
and
कुछ
OG
और
should be able to scoop this one under the rug
Nice,
too.
yeah.
Hirsch is able to get one, but it's not going to change a lot of things. It's complete fine. OG are okay with that. Not able to land the shot, and yeah, Izzy's cleaned things around. Antico won as well. 7th round of the boards for, or 6th round of the boards for the side of OG, and now this is where they're going to be tested thoroughly. Vandals and Phantoms on the board, superior weaponry, and with only light armors, that means they're still going to have enough amount of money. Or no, actually, I've invested every single thing that they have. So Reckoning Esports should also have the losers bonus building up for themselves. So I guess not a lot of problem yet.
उन दोनों के लिए एक ही मंगवाओ.
Yet being the key word.
Yes,
Now that
they
Reckoning
will have
Esports
half.
have the weapons once again,
एक काम करो
OG
देखो.
might just see trouble brewing up on the horizon. A storm's headed your way.
मंगवा लो सबके लिए मंगवा लो.
You better batten down the hatches, better lock your doors and windows.
नहीं नहीं.
Yeah?
और कोक
Good
मत
utility
मंगवाना है.
usage. Pushing out Voya out of the tower region with the aftershock and the molly. He tries to play inside the smoke once again.
Yeah.
He is the smoke criminal, but finally this criminal gets punished. Death penalty awarded. And OG rewarded with the sight instead. Harsh obviously has utility which he can use to throw down the bronze, but look at Deadly. He dashed in before the flash arrived, and Aziz is able to get the better of him, plucks his head off. And Aziz proving once again why he's the highest rated player in the tournament.
Well, I guess OG are back in the flow once again. They really just want to equalize the scoreline. The map of Fracture now, it's looking a little bit too much Deadly as OG are sort of able to pull things back in the second half, and that's what they really needed. But yeah, I mean, if my heart's pumping so fast, I can already imagine what's going on with the players and OG being able to control their nerves with the gun. With some immaculate amount of shooting inside the previous round too, so yeah, things looking decent for them. And now Reckoning Esports on an eco. Once again, Sheriff's on the board.
Sheriff's on the board. Classics as well. Plenty of util being thrown down towards A main, but will they pick up the fight? They know for a fact that OG are waiting across the other side, waiting to counter push this one. Both the breaches just holding their utilities out, ready to dump them at a moment's notice, waiting for the call from their duelists. And upon their cue, they rain down hell. Meanwhile, that fight is happening. Rawfield is able to get everything done towards B main. Hold on though, Reckoning are actually doing damage over here. Deadly manages to escape. Never mind, he just swings out to his own death again. But still, 2 kills for Reckoning Esports. That is not what they would have expected. They needed much more than that to stop OG. And now that both these teams are tied up, the score is leveled. Reckoning will start to sweat bullets.
Dude, look at the operator now. That's being bought by Deadly 10. And we know what happens when this man is able to activate and find some flesh with the gun. We know what this man is capable of. That operator single-handedly can't prove out to be the win condition. And this time he's positioned himself to the A site. There's 3 players backing him up. A good flash too. I'm gonna reveal the players' position outside main. And you can see Deadly 10 as well positioning himself quite close. This might just be a little problematic just yet. And OG are quite ready too with their own utils. Player spotted in the close quarters. The op not exactly striking that well in the close lines, but now he needs to fall back. Aziz used his showstopper, but not able to find a lot of value on the back of that, and now instant retreat from OG.
They're retreating into a vacant B site. Reckoning might have the man advantage, but OG can still make this one work.
एक किल
Oh,
पे
and look at these
बहुत
positions
सारे
that
heads
they're
है भाई
taking.
इनके
They
पास.
just go for the plant, and not just that, they're
एक-एक
stepping
kill मारना
ahead of the
बस.
smokes. They're trying to fight towards generator and canteen. Flash pushes test rack back, but Reckoning were aware about the
इनको
forward
flank को
positioning
kill
of
देना
OG
चाहिए.
members, and they're being very, very careful.
अरे नहीं
But
रे,
eventually
नहीं
they'll
रे.
run
अरे
out of
रे, रे,
utility. They'll run out of space. Rolling Thunder sent through, but Tesseract angles himself perfectly. Both of them line up.
Flabin and Deadly 10, the last 2 criminals alive on the site. As Flabin's gonna go for the stick, at least trying to make it all the way to the 50%. And he actually does so, gets one. But that's all he's gonna find. Instantly, the man follows it up too. OG able to squeeze away another round on the board for themselves. And 9-8 is the scoreline. 1 round lead from OG finally, and now a tactical timeout being called. Actually, the defending side has been a little tough on both these teams.
Yeah, both these teams simply not able to get a lot done in terms of defense. I mean, at least Reckoning are able to get the advantage quite often towards A main. They're seldom losing control over that area. And if OG have to challenge them towards A main, they have to dump bodies, which is obviously quite risky. But every single time Reckoning showed too much presence towards A main, OG instantly hit somewhere else. They're very good at identifying where the players of Reckoning Esports are, and then they avoid that area like the plague, just finding other ways into another part of the map. Well, that at least has been the case so far. And this time, OG were even aware that if they just continue holding the site, holding for crossfires, they might not make it because Reckoning have superior numbers. So that's why they go for the aggro fights. Instead of holding back and just playing for time, they pick up fights on their own terms, and that surprises the hell out of Reckoning Esports. Whether it's pushes towards Generator and Canteen, or whether it's that double kill in response to the Rolling Thunder.
Let's see, man. For now, Reckoning Esports is someone that has lost the momentum, and OG, they've gained it back in their hands. It is an attacking sided map, so makes sense why things are a little tough on the defense on this map. And once again, Rawfield taking quite a quick take already to the site. Orbital Strike's going to force him out of the heaven area. The good Cloud Burst to give him a little bit of visual denial against the opponents. And he's also able to find 2 quick kills through the smoke. Hirsch taken care of. Tristus Wall gets taken care of. And now the lockdown's initiated from Woya. It's going to force, or at least it's going to force the players of OG to reroute away. But look at Flabin is ready. In the underpass area, might just be able to squeeze 1 frag, and yes, he exactly does so. RVK on the flank angle, able to cut off the rotation to the B, or to the A site. And now, Reckoning Esports, once again, things slipping away from their hands.
And Reckoning Esports are so confused. They saw RVK trying to push into its sand, and they lost a player from that region, which leads Reckoning to assume that this is indeed an A crunch. They're taking their sweet time trying to get into positions to hopefully trade each other out, but they will be in for a rude awakening when OG plant the spike on B.
Spike planted.
Deadly 10's position should be known, as he's made a lot of sounds with the foot cues. And with this Blade Storm, he's just looking for that single pick from the players of OG. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be given away. Good Molotov going to force Tesseract out of that corner. But the Eve... Oh, what a flick from Tesseract. Made me eat my words, and now it's all down to Flab. And he knows he's the last wish, so he needs to run away.
Sheesh, he knocks Deadly up into the air and then plunges him down to the ground. That was a stylish shot. OG once again continue their winning streak. 6 rounds in a row as they take everything away from Reckoning Esports. They might even take the gun away from Flappin, but no, he's allowed to carry it forward into the next round. What a game from OG. They start things off quite slowly, and aggro push towards the B side. It doesn't pan out the way they wanted to, but then as soon as the lockdown's invested from the side of Reckoning Esports, OG fall back only temporarily. And while they do so, RVK has already snuck into its sand, and from there he snuck into its defender's spawn. Not a position Reckoning Esports would have expected would be compromised so soon.
Good flash. Deadly 10 gonna push on the back of that. Flash did not spot anyone, but still Deadly 10 should not show reckless aggression onto that part of the map. OG still not knowing where they exactly want to go, but they're sort of tilted towards the B side, so I guess that's what the game plan is going to look like. Flabbin's holding the arcade side. No one peeked out just yet. OG taking their sweet little time, approaching every single piece of the map. And Reckoning Esports, they're going to let them have that too. They're playing so passive, so held back, and they need to actually, because OG, they're able to win the duels so far on their attack. So you might as well respect the opponent's firepower and try and get yourself in some cheeky plays. Good play from Flabbin. He actually peeks out of the Molotov. No one expected that from the side of OG, and now Woya on the side too is knocking players down.
You have to play inside the smokes to deal with the smoke criminal. And yeah, Voya was able to isolate quite a lot of those fights because of the sky smoke, but now nothing's working for them. Deadly finally strikes. Antidote left to his own devices in the sight. Goes for a very risky plant in the open. And somehow Harsh doesn't punish him, even though Antidote was blind as a bat. He still wins the duel? No way! Oh, finally Twist is able to control the losses, and Reckoning Esports win their first round of the half. But all the lead that they had has been squandered away.
Chance once again back in action. And so is OG. Able to swing the entire momentum back in their hands. And also able to somehow get things under control for themselves. And look at the replays, dude. Reckoning Esports. 9 rounds for them, able to win that one. And now OG on towards 10. Considering they've still got the guns on the board, but the problem is they're still humble with the economy. One single misstep and all the guns will be taken away, and they will be back on a complete reset with the pistols.
The ghost go.
So the Trailblazer does find something, and RBK is getting harassed over here. He's being targeted really hard. Trailblazer, brief utility, and finally the op shot from Deadly. All of that thrown in just for that one kill onto RBK.
Makasam bhai. Play to hai.
Speak of that one kill, and look at Aziz.
Kya
He
re?
sneaked up so deep all the way towards the spawn, and he actually gets a glimmer of his opponent. Strikes him down. Still a 3-on-3. Tough to say who's going to be able to come out on top in this one. But Aziz gets smoked off. Now Aziz right on the other side of that smoke too. While the players of Reckoning Esports are looking to burst out, they're not going to be given a lot of room for error.
Absolutely
They will
not.
need to force out error from the players of OG. Good flash, but still not going to blind Aziz. But what a turnaround from Flappin'.
Yeah, that flick of the wrist, absolutely monumental. Antidote takes his time to commit the orbital strike, but Flappin's already got it down to halfway point. Harsh won't even get the chance to tap it. The orb from Antidote finally showing up. And that's one consistent thing that OG are doing. Every time they try to go for a B plant, somebody or the other from OG will hunt down the Reckoning members. They will play hyper aggro towards Canteen and to its generator. Basically, literally picking fights in their spawn. And Reckoning Esports, how will they retake when they don't even have space to set up the retake? When they have to literally worry about the spawn being taken away from them, there's no avenue left for them to use their utility from.
True. Look at this, man. Guardian, Sheriff, Stinger, Classic, Phantom. Broken buys on the side of Reckoning Esports, but still gotta make something out of nothing. No other choice. Trist is on the other side, and so far OG haven't really challenged a lot of those times onto A main. I think so it's only once or twice. So yeah, they don't really need to go on that side of the map, because the opposite side is quite easy for them to take undertaking. So might as well try to keep trying your luck onto that one. But Reckoning Esports this time, they're at least able to get a good opening, and that's the entry fragger out.
Yep. Rothfield decided to dash inside, hoping to catch the isolated Voya over there, but little did he know that even Twist was right around the corner. And this time OG, after they get the confirmation that 4 Reckoning members are towards A, they quickly pivot towards the B site. OG are so good at avoiding dangerous situations that Reckoning Esports are trying to throw at them.
Wow. Well, that's one way to kick things off on the post-plant scenario. Orbital strike used to, gonna take down Aziz with that, nicely done. And Reckoning Esports, it's a massive storm that's brewing on the site, and they take the site control easily enough. Considering that was also broken buys for them, they've got their hands on the guns once again. They're back into full force. Now their main goal over here is going to be to equalize the scoreline. Considering it's a thrifty round, OG now will need to rethink what exactly went wrong in that previous round for them.
A lot of things, honestly. I mean, they were doing it quite well at the beginning. Reckoning Esports went for a 4-stack towards the A site, and Rothfield dashing in resulted in his death. So that's an instant man disadvantage, but at least in the process of doing so, he figured out what Reckoning setup looks like. So OG did a decent job of going towards the B side, avoiding danger and getting that plant down. But Reckoning flushed them out of these positions. Smoke off B main, so Antidote's op is useless. Orbital strike pushes everyone holding tower outside. And just like that, Reckoning win the round. But can they strike once again? Deadly's op has been all over the place. And it will be difficult for him to make impact over here, but he does. He kills Antidote. But in response, OG have already taken arcade control. And Deadly Ton can't make his way back to safe territory.
Oh, that also could be good, but accidentally he missed it at the last second. But still, the spam's going to take down Tesseract solo. The players are quite low. The HP advantage in the hands of Reckoning Esports. And all they need to do is find two taps and two of the players. One single bullet to seal the deal. And then the last man's heavy, which is RVK. It's looking pretty good. Only 4 HP in the hands of AZs. Still Reckoning Esports taking their time, not forcing things just yet. That bullet onto Aziz to shut him down. Now Trist is going to go for the stick. He's of course going to catch a bit of damage, but the main deal over here for them is to make it all the way halfway, and they've done so, but there's too many bullets resisting that. The entire defuse. Raw fuel down to 2 HP. We'll need a peek out.
Shit, shit.
Ah!
Just trading blow for blow, bullet for bullet. They had to heavy stick that spike. And then OG just let loose a rain of bullets. A hailstorm of lead unleashed from B main. Both Flabin and Rofuel very low on HP, hemorrhaging internally. And Rofuel connects the final shot.
B main, smoke. Fuck, man.
Things are starting to take a turn for the worse. Reckoning Esports got into this game feeling really nice, feeling really good, but now they just basically spell their own defeat. The moment of Reckoning is upon them and they take matters into their own hands. A really aggro push out of A main, basically committing the entire force in this area. But OG, they're not afraid of fighting back. Usually OG would avoid the area like the plague if they see more than 3 pieces of utility coming their way, but this time OG are actually challenging them. This could be disastrous if Reckoning get their lay of the land. Meanwhile, RVK has already snuck into the B site, and none of the KJ util is present to let them know that the site area is lost. The turret is towards the defender's spawn. It's not even active. RVK is about to get the backstab of his life, and he's about to get past, but Flabin's marking this angle, and all this has now gone to waste. But hey, at least the spike can get to the B side before Reckoning can respond. That should be good, right?
Raw fuel over here gets one, but that's all he's gonna get. Deadly 10 with the shorty in the close. He gets him
Blank
down.
of the lifetime कैसे हो सकता है? भाई वो
Still
Flabin देख रहा है उधर.
3 on 4 scenario. Blade Storm available in the hands of Deadly 10, but he's not gonna decide to pop it just yet. He actually doesn't need to. Man advantage stacked up into their hands, and Aziz with this flank from the ropes. This is a 200 IQ play, and now also a trigger discipline coming in. And Aziz from the back is going to execute Deadly 10 out and over. Once again, the script has been flipped against Reckoning. Now Reckoning will need to bring out a miracle. That's the only way they're going to be able to pull this round, pull things back into their court. Her steps onto the site. Too much util. That's going to force him away. Dealt with the first man on the board, and Reckoning Esports, they lose out on the second map of Fracture. It's a map trade. OG, they strike back once again.
Sota mistake करा रे.
OG so dominant in the second half, conceding only 2 rounds to Reckoning Esports. A 5-round win streak to start things off, and then the rest is history. OG proving again why using chaos against them is a bad idea, because they can devolve down to the same mannerisms and beat you with experience. The primal instinct of the apes kicking in, punching the wolves in the face, and tying these series at 1-1.
Best friend.
Whatever lost their experience in the first half definitely shocked them to their core and forced them to adapt their playing style. And man, oh man, when OG start adapting, you better start praying.
Did I offend you?
Still a quite a close affair though. You can definitely count on the players of Reckoning Esports. It's tough deal to say. It's equal trade when it comes to the winning side of the map, so grand finals are off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
कुछ डिलीशियस डिशेस देख के भाई मुंह में पानी आ जाता है. हेलो सब डियर बिगेस.
किधर जा रही है? किधर? हे
again. And as you guys saw, a lot of giveaways are happening, and indeed, this grand finals have turned out to be quite thriller. Once again, we're gonna move in forward soon enough in the third map, which will be the map of Split, and I just can't wait to straight up just deep dive into that territory, because I want to see some new stuff for Reckoning, and I want to see some new stuff from OG too, because so far, Reckoning Esports are able to read into OG's strat book, but Fracture, being an attacker-sided map, in the end, OG came back pretty strong. Now as we move on forward to the map of Split, this will be tough to call which one will be taking this home. But once again, we're seeing the similar composition back, the Reyna and Sky.
The Reyna and Sky bringing that Super Flash combination together again. Yeah. That's definitely going to be a twist. I fully expected a Viper and Astra coming out of Reckoning Esports, but then again, they have many ways of surprising us. And yeah, in even Fracture, we saw that in the first half, Reckoning Esports were trying to go for a lot of those unorthodox moves, like they swing out of smokes, and they just try to be as pesty and as unpredictable as possible. But that did not give them the results they wanted. Now that maybe Voya is back on the Reyna, he can be that thorn in the side that needs to prick OG in a sensitive spot.
You gotta be a super team to dodge this combos off the Super Flash. Reyna and Sky, a deadly combination. Let's see how well Reckoning Esports will utilize it this time on the map of Split. It's the first time I've seen them play on this map with this combo. So indeed, it's going to be quite an interesting affair for them. But for OG, they should be a little astonished outside of this. Look at Flab and all the players. All he needs to do is find a good timing. And if he actually does, this can be a date with destiny. Raw Fuel, though, he might have just found a timing for himself and might just be able to sneak in a kill right onto the player in the front. But instead, he actually runs away from him. So Trist has now got a good timing for himself. Base shells out. Too many players approaching. Trist dealt with. Deadly 10 still on the site.
Deadly 10 trapped, cornered on the side, but he's not one to be cornered. He will drive them into a wedge, but no, that doesn't happen. Oh my goodness, okay then, that wasn't expected. Harsh dives into the side via elbow while his teammates take 2 frags up on top, and that leaves Raw Fuel alone and wondering where did it all go wrong. OG start things off on a good note. They had just the right read. They got into the wind and even managed to isolate all of those fights. But then, the extension into its vents led to 2 of their deaths, and even Harsh stepped up with the heroics at the right moment.
The fact that Reckoning Esports are also changing their composition is sort of catching OG off guard. They don't exactly know how Reckoning Esports are going to be playing or how they're going to be positioned with their defaults on this map, especially with this comp. So OG, yeah, them being able to find that opening, that was a great start indeed, but they're not able to close onto that because the press from Reckoning Esports instantly is so quick. Voya, oh, he catches a bullet onto his leg, and I think so that should be a warning sign of him not peeking out once again. And Reckoning Esports will now need to play a little bit laid back and push back. Flash from Hirsch confirms their presence, but they don't know that there's one man right in the front of their face. Good shot from Antidote, but an instant refrags there from Voya. Oh, down to 61 HP, but it's completely fine considering the opponents don't even have the superior weaponry, but it's still a 4-on-4.
Here.
4-on-4, best odds that OG have had in a while, but Reckoning say no. Flabbin jiggling in and out of that corner. Now they know where he is, and hopefully that will set up the bait for Trist perfectly. He swings out a little bit more. Okay, never mind. He swung out a little earlier than expected. He probably could have held that position, and I think they still would have been fine. But this game, it's as nail-biting as it's ever been, from a 4v4 to a 3v3 now. And once again, Deadly in a similar position. This time at least he's got the turret to give him information in case the vent gets breached. And he's able to line them all up, knock them down, a double instantly in his hands. Tesseract has to race into the site with very little HP and very little time left. He just needs to get into a safe spot. And that round might be far out of his reach, but I think OG will be just happy with the spike plant.
You can't just underestimate anything just yet. 30 HP. All it's going to need is 2 taps. You never know. Tesseract is a monster. He's a beast of life. And, well, I guess I expect a little bit too much. But, yeah, it's okay. Reckoning Esports, they run away with this round win, too, considering it's an anti-eco. The upcoming round's, of course, going to be a bonus. So, for OG, this is where they will have a big advantage of converting things around. But considering it's a map of split, you know, a lot of engagements do happen in the close quarters.
Close quarters. That's true. That's exactly why you will see quite a lot of Stingers and Spectres on this map. But this two-pronged approach from OG didn't really give them the result they were hoping for. At least so far, OG have been able to get into vents without any problems. So they can, to some extent, get mid-control quite easily. But then again, it's only been 2 rounds, so it's a bit too soon to call this. And just as I say that, Reckoning Esports reinforced mid, this time with 2 players. Both the Sky and the Reyna are holding here together, so that super flash combination we spoke about in the pre-game segment, we might just catch a glimpse of that over here.
Yeah, we are actually catching a glimpse of that. You guys saw that. Reyna flash and Sky flash used at the same time. Next to impossible to dodge it. The only thing you can do is hide behind a cover, and that's what they did. Charging vents! Oh, the timing actually not working out that well, and Trist only down to 5 HP. Now this defense sort of seems like it's starting to crumble down. Trist needs to get back up to full HP, so he needs to close his distance to Hirsch. He needs to go where Hirsch is, and that's what he's going to do. So he's going to be getting a regrowth back onto himself. And considering they know how valuable this judge can be, it can strike down multiple players at the same time. It found himself in the right time, in the right situation.
And because they have to fall back and heal each other up, OG get the time to retreat away from mid and head back into the B site. At least the guiding light gives Hirsch a good idea as to where the rest of OG is, but he can't do anything to stop it by himself. Or maybe he can! Solo kill available, but still the site is lost. The spike will be planted. Flabin though, he's managed to get across that tripwire which was placed on mid, and they might not be aware about his backstab. Antidote checks it regardless and he gets the frag.
Yeah. Flabin not getting any value right then, and they're sort of sealed the round in the favor of OG. But look at the arena, man. People are actually even standing in the back because all the chairs are filled up. Yeah, house full. That's what you call it. But yeah, Reckoning Esports, I mean, considering that was just a bonus round, I would say not bad. Okay. They were able to get 2 guns away from the opponents, but it's still not really going to affect a lot to OG, considering the 3 players are still going to be on the light armor, so they're quite okay when it comes to the economical side of the game. But now Voya, it's actually Voya who's using the operator and Trist on the judge. Interesting. Let's see.
Okay. Once again, OG getting in towards vents without any problems. Trist, though, he can create a lot of problems with this judge. In every round that we've seen so far, OG have been able to get into vents, but little do they know that the judge will surprise them here. They will still try to push onwards, still try to get at least a little bit of control, but Tesseract made a ballsy move over there. The flash alone could have led to his death, but at least now they discover where Hoya's operator is. Hoya, though, will reposition himself towards the mouth of this heaven, and this should be enough to stop them in their tracks. The smoke, though, holds him back, and the spike has made its way across, so there's nothing that he can do right now except maybe regroup with his teammates and play for the retake. Even that seems difficult with the op.
They can definitely go for the heaven control, though, and maybe you try and rain down death and destruction with the operator from heaven. But once again, OG is not one of those teams that will give out peaks like that. Raw Fuel holding quite a tight angle, but Voya instantly good with the trade. But still, operator in the close quarters going to be quite an unfortunate stuff for Voya. He will need to change guns on last moment. Gets his hand on the Vandal, and nothing done. Nicely wrapped up from OG. Good round actually secured up as well. And now for Reckoning Esports, once again, they're going to need to rethink their decisions. The judge is not able to come alive that well. He was only able to find 1. And considering when you're going to invest into a judge, you're going to hope that you will at least be able to get multiple kills.
Yeah. But at least the judge wasn't the biggest problem for OG. I mean, for that matter, neither was the operator. That's the more expensive weapon. That's what Reckoning Esports will regret losing. Oh, Deadly falling back as quickly as he can before the Trailblazers get the better off him. But Aziz waits for no man and nobody. He jumps across the sea of nanoswarm straight into the site, covers the distance before Deadly has a chance to react. And somehow the Trailblazer doesn't catch Tesseract. He can flash everybody down. What a spray! A triple for this man! The nature girl turns into the beast.
Oh,
Voya still has a chance in this one. Somehow recovers the weapon, and he's got full HP as well. But the time is taken against him, and this clock is unforgiving.
अच्छा भेजा है ना लोग ने.
Pixel.
Next time every time tip भेजना.
Voya's head's cut off. Loses it. OG 3-2. 1 round lead this time. It's OG. Showstopper available in the hands of AZs. They've got 3 ultimates in total. So I guess that's good news for the opponents. Talk about the players of Reckoning now. This little switch up that they've also brought into roles, right? Where you're seeing Deadly 10 on the Killjoy, then you're seeing Trist on the Duelist. This change is definitely quite astonishing. It's surprising us, that's for sure.
True. And maybe these old switch-ups will surprise OG too, but for the time being, they are looking fine and dandy. Here comes the showstopper. Aziz will blow him to smithereens, but at least Harsh sprays him down before he bites the dust. Although the sight also is lost. That's a creative tripwire. Should catch anyone who's dropping down, but will anyone drop down though? Because the super flash lets him take height, lets him take elevation, and Voya just dismisses across. There's another player right behind him, and being inside the smoke is Deadly 10, hoping to channel his inner criminal down once again. He stopped OG from planting at least now, but he can't isolate the fights. And Antidote is too sharp with his op.
OG storming through the first half so far, winning rounds back to back. And Reckoning Esports not able to find the grip on the players of OG. They need to put a leash on OG. Considering on the attack, they're able to win so many rounds on the back of that, back to back. They're always able to find some sort of openings on some part of the map. Reckoning Esports not able to seal the entirety of the map so far. Always gaps are being made, man, and that's something that's working against him. They will need to amp up the team play once again. They will need to click together. And Antidote with the op on the attack is definitely quite interesting. But talk about Reckoning Esports too. They're taking control on the opposite side of the map. Once again, similar stuff. They've managed to get their footing on the site. But the spike goes down. A lot of time being bought considering now the spikes went down. Showstopper as well is going to get rid of Antidote. That's a massive operator and a big threat neutralized.
Blow for blow as the trades go forward. A pinstripe in the kill feed is visible. And just like that, OG take control of the site once again. But this time the difference is RVK is playing towards Mail rather than with his teammates in the site. All these trap wires that he's placed down there are making it impossible for Hoya to make his backstab work, but he skill jumps across. That's cool! Rob, you never saw this coming! The movement of Hoya, the fancy footwork gets him all that he requires. And the elaborate trap that RVK set up has now gone to waste. It's up to him to stop all of them now, but there's a fighting squad waiting for him.
Finally, dude, Reckoning Esports 1 round, and that should be a massive sigh of relief. But can it be a momentum breaker, though? That's what really matters. Breaking the momentum of the opponent teams. But the chants are still going on. It doesn't matter if OG lost or not. Still, their economy is quite good. They're quite rich as ever before. But yeah, Voya being able to find this key flank just changed things all the way around. And now you should see a little bit of change in the trip placement too.
Placing alarm bomb. Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm
Yeah,
grenade.
a change in the trips will definitely be required. Raw Fuel and RVK probably had a word about how his trips failed up. I mean, if RVK was dead and then Voya suck across, then at least Raw Fuel has that in the back of his mind. But RVK being alive all the way to the end and Voya just skill jumping across, now that's a big problem you gotta patch. RVK usually places the lurk towards either A main or B main every time he's on split, regardless of which of a team he's playing for. This has been his tendency ever since he was in F1 LS. But this time it's a 4-stack towards Mail, and the judge is right across the corner. I'm starting to feel nervous, Necro. If the judge isn't enough, then Flamin with the Vandal will also make it work. And just like that, Reckoning Esports have repelled the invaders away.
Finally at the right spot at the right time. And there we go, Flamin on the site once again, looking to sweep things around. And sweep them under the rug. Oh, Antidote, operator spotted. Now I'm pretty sure Reckoning Esports are going to be adamant to get their hands on that op. Why not? If Deadly or even any of the players, they get their hands on that op, things can be a little good for ya. The timing's not perfect. And wow, on the opposite side, the teleport comes in from the shadows. So there should be a free plant coming in too, but same thing is done by Flabbin as well. And Antidote knows that there is a TP in the close quarters.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay then.
Wow.
Yeah, the shrouded steps don't always expect the way you want them to. But still, Antidote knew this was a lost round. The 1v4 was a difficult task. And he's at least able to get the plant down, so there's some money available for OG. Combined with the lost bonus, maybe they can afford cheap weapons once again.
Thanks
if
for the
not, they
membership,
can
Pandu.
definitely afford to have sheriffs and bulldogs maybe.
Hey, चुप मेरे टीपी से सीखा है.
Although I must say, this little setup from Reckoning Esports is so difficult to deal with. Judge in the close corner, you also have Voya with the op, so this just makes it nearly impossible for OG to breach in anywhere. And yes, so far OG have had some successful rounds, but most of them come from their relentless B push.
4-4, man. It's the score. Things evened out. A timeout from OG, considering they lost 2 rounds back-to-back. So, yeah, indeed, a point of concern for them. And maybe a time to make some calls. But OG's coach is just sitting back and relaxing, I guess. Not a lot to say here. Maybe he's just taking his time out to give them a little bit of sigh of comfort. A breather. You need to, man. Considering these grand finals, pressures can definitely be something that can get to your head.
That's another thing that OG have managed to do. They managed to get Reckoning out of their heads. Remember how in map number 1, Reckoning were basically manipulating OG into doing their bidding, into discarding away their advantage. At least now OG can have their own original thoughts and get Reckoning's poison out of their minds. Can they get rid of Voya though? At least he breaks the camera with the op, so now Reckoning Esports have given away signs of warnings. And OG will be well to pay respect to that. Age to cross that little gap and head towards the ramp upstairs. But little do they know that they're walking straight into the waiting arms of Voya.
Wow, quick dash on the site once again, but Deadly Ten's ready, and the cross is trained. Oh, wanted to pull out the classic in the close quarters because he knew he was stunned up and the inaccuracy might just get to him. But now Deadly 10 peeks on the back of that flash. Nicely done. Reckoning Esports, these little team plays that they're doing. So good. Did you see the timing on that flash too? It saved Deadly 10 so well.
Yeah, and it's not just a flash. Even Voya swinging in and out of the smokes. Dismissing back to safety as well. And as soon as they are done dealing with Voya, Deadly swings out of the elbow. The paranoia as well, just getting the better of every single player. The coordination that Reckoning Esports possess is on a whole new level right now. This is the kind of coordination that we hadn't seen from them in a very long time. Reckoning Esports pulling everything together. The master plan coming into full effect as their comms are on point.
And look on the A sides. Oh, what is he doing? Okay. A really tough call. A really tough stuff, of course, from the side of Rawfuel. Straight up dashed up. Didn't even have the gun in his hands. He thought maybe that his teammates will be able to get the trade. I'm not exactly sure what the game plan was there. But I would definitely call it a massive mistake, considering now RVK has found himself all the way in the back. This is definitely good news. He was able to get two of them himself, but not something that would give you a lot of advantage inside the game. Now you've got the man disadvantage.
One enemy remaining.
Oh gee, my goodness. I cannot imagine how quickly they are falling like flies. They really picked up the pace this round. The paranoia thrown in from sewers allowed Rawfuel to dash upstairs, and it hit Deadly square in the face. But Deadly says, nah, it's not a flash, it's just a near side. I can still have my vision around the corner. And he jumps up with that shorty, dispatches Rawfuel down to the nether realms. And OG respond well to it, right? They dive deep into the site, they just quickly cover ground, run in, sprinting as fast as their nimble legs can carry them and get that spike down. Even RBK pushes deep into screens because he knows that holding these close-line positions from the side itself has been problematic for OG. So he tries something new, and he does find the kill, but all those surprises are still not enough to throw Reckoning off their game.
I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the raw field play there. Yeah, it's understandable they had to flash there as well, but still not a good decision that he made. But okay, this time at least they're able to do something good and get the side control in the hand. Nicely done. Seekers were out as well, so that sort of gave the opponent's position away. But now Reckoning Esports, they're going to be off to a retake here. Things will be a little tough, and it will be a daunting task to get their hands once again back on the site. As we've got Reckoning Esports flank approaching. Aziz's position compromised in the close quarters. He's also able to strike down the player in the front. At least that's a fair trade from their side. 2-on-4 scenario. For the players of Reckoning Esports, the arcs are stacked against them. And yeah, Tesseract is going to be lucky enough to get both of them.
Yeah, he saw the first one fair and square, but that second kill, that was just random. That was luck. But he doesn't need luck. Even if he did not get that frag, OG was still poised very well to win the round. They pick up the pace and blitzkrieg into the site. Poor Deadly had absolutely no time to react. Before he could even send his mouse across the other side of the desk, he was already dead. And that similar stuff which RBK pulled off in the last round, Aziz did this time. They take quick control of screens and basically cut away the avenues that Reckoning have available for the retake. This is the strat that OG were using even in Fracture. Push all the way in towards the defender entrances, all the way towards defender spawn and Fracture, and leave Reckoning with no room left to mount their retake. Even now, they get into its screens, which basically eliminates one avenue of retake entirely. And then Reckoning are forced to either take control of ramps or drop down from the window. Both of those options are equally risky.
Definitely way too close for comfort though, but still, as Reckoning Esports, they've got one round advantage. They would definitely want to make this series, or not this series, I mean the first half, 7-5. So Reckoning Esports knows the value this round holds. And considering the upcoming pistol round as well, the second half pistol round will be quite valuable as well. Voya gets his hands on the operator, while the rest of his team with only Vandals and full armors on the board. Similar stuff on the opposite side, Vandals and Phantoms. Let's see what sort of initial setup we're going to see from both the sides. And OG, they're really adamant to just straight up go for an early peek over here. Good shot. Antidote's going to find that perfect peek. Flab and shut down in the close. Now that's not a good news for Reckoning Esports, considering they've lost their controller.
But when they lose the controller, they can always take back another kill. Oh, RBK playing that timing down to perfection. Reckoning Esports are already diving into the site with this lockdown, hoping to stop OG from even planting. But RBK now will have to make his say. He will have to make them pay. His flank will be detected, and Twist leaves nothing to chance.
Hey,
that's what you call perfect teamwork. And this is what I mean when you're gonna play off of each other, playing for their trades. It's completely okay. That bait and switch combo that Reckoning Esports did on the site to get those kills and also catch him off guard. This shot was definitely quite easy for Woya, but he still ended up missing. But it's completely okay when your teammates have got your back. And OG, yeah, even the coach is just left astonished. He can take a look at the scoreboard as well in front of you. Nicely done, man. Reckoning Esports, 7-5 half. This was the similar half that we saw in the first map too. And so far on the third map, it seems like things are repeating itself. But as we all know, the upcoming pistol round is what's really gonna matter.
It is. The second pistol round is super important, and Reckoning have had quite a lot of success on pistol rounds so far. But you too can find some success if you scan this QR code and sign up for the raffle. You might just stand a chance of winning the Philips One Blade. You already saw plenty of giveaways happening in the arena. They will be happening online too. So go ahead and scan it up. Meanwhile, we'll be back with the second half after this short break.
पूरा हाफ को अच्छा खेल रहा था टीम, बट वो क्लोज आउट नहीं कर पा रहा। लास्ट मैप का भी वो हाफ अच्छा खेला था वो लोग ने, लेकिन भाई पहला हाफ ही अच्छा खेल रहा है, सेकंड हाफ में क्लोज आउट नहीं कर पा रहे थे राउंड। वो देखते हैं लोग अभी क्या करते हैं।
Bro, Fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं.
Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop.
Come with me if you want to game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Hello. हमारी आवाज.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here.
Kya?
What if I Nico cut myself?
Huh?
Try this.
Seriously, man.
Phillips.
क्या क्या? छी भाई.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half. For the first half ended at the scoreline of 7-5. Reckoning Esports do have a little bit of cushion for themselves, but not a cushion they should rely on. Now we're back once again where the sides have been switched, where we'll find OG on the defense and Reckoning on the attack. And we're going to kick things off with the pistol round once again. This pistol round holds a lot of value, and whichever team's able to claim that will be closer to the victory.
Reckoning Esports have found quite a lot of success in pistol rounds in the past, and they start off in a very similar fashion as well. Easy kill onto a main, and they flood into the side as well. Nothing can stop them from planting the spike now. Twist extends even further, this time killing RBK. And OG don't even get to have a say in this round.
What just happened? This is what you call lawnmower. Just straight up walking in, not even any problem. Just mowing the lawn, mowing down anyone that stands against him. And a flawless round too. As I said, whichever team wins this round, they're going to get a step closer to victory on this map too. And so far, Reckoning Esports has been able to win this. Now, this is where things will get a little intense. You can see 3 sheriffs in the hands of OG. This describes a lot of things. That means OG, they have a sort of intention to win this round, but at the same time, they would be more than happy if they're able to do a lot of damage. That means a dent on the opponent's economy and keep them humble.
Yeah, but in the past, OG trying to put dents in Reckoning's economy hasn't really discouraged them. So, and now they will be the ones feeling discouraged. Sheriff versus Ghost, and he still wins. Rawfield will be checked. The frenzy pumps him full of lead. And just like that, any attempts of pushing out of smokes, any attempts of surprising Reckoning will be met with death. Even Tesseract has the same fate. Oh, poor Aziz. Does he help out RBK on the side, or does he deal with the lurkers? He's conflicted. Both those...
Oh my god, that could have been a knife! Look, Trist, yeah.
Yeah.
Trist is disappointed. Trist knew that that could have been a knife. But, yeah.
Doesn't even apologize, this shameless dude. We've already seen a knife happen in this game, you know?
I mean, it's okay, you know? At the end of the day, the MVP will also matter quite a lot. So I guess Boy is really looking for the run of the MVP here. He's got 19 kills and 6 deaths. Look at that, KD. It's just... insane, considering you're at the 3rd map of a grand final where you know there's so much pressure surmounting on top of your head. And Trist, he's like Lightning McQueen already, just straight up pedal to the metal. He's not gonna stop. He's got his speed all the way back, all the way down to 200 kmph. But this time it's OG who's gonna start things off.
And while Trist is deep inside enemy territory, his teammates aren't anywhere close to him. Goya not checking the closer angle leads to his death. Oh, and Trist has found the timing. He could have had a date with Destiny over here, but RBK, he shows up as an unknown entity. But still, Twist cleared up so much space for his team. They now know that they can make their way inside. Flabin goes from smoke to smoke, steps across that gap,
Planted.
and he plants it safely too. And here comes the flank from Hirsch. Perfectly timed, perfectly positioned, and this will sandwich OG the need to break out before they get chopped.
Oh my god,
they
no way!
can't.
Flabin with 2, and the Spectre in the close range is of course going to be quite venomous, and that's what happens. This is a bonus round for Reckoning Esports. If they win this, their economy is going to be on cloud 9. So they will need to turn things around. RVK approaches, and he does not expect the man in the close left. Hirsch to close it off.
Reckoning Esports getting so much map control every step along the way. Whether it's Voya committing his life to the cause by selling that B fake, or whether it's Trist going all the way up towards A heaven and getting this much map control. And while Trist and Voya were able to get into these spots and not get any kills, it still didn't create problems for Reckoning Esports. So much map control lets them do whatever they want. They have their lay of the land. They pick and choose their poison, and they control where the spike goes down. So many options available Reckoning Esports, and yet they woke up and chose violence. RVK instantly decapitated. He basically had no chances. The Paranoia and the Judge hit him both square in the face.
They're really just at this point abusing the Judge on the attack, especially those double satchels. Now I understand why Trist took those. This man's double satchels are quite flawless. A really good cover fire. Even if the first man got taken down, they're completely going to be fine on the back of that. Once again, Sky and Reina, those two players towards the main, not gonna let anyone force back or try and even backstab them. The ramp is completely under control. It's on the lockdown. Tough to get out of that one. Rafiel spotted a really good spray transfer. AZ's caught some bullets right to his dome, and his skull gets ripped apart, cracked open. Call it whatever you want to call. A 2-on-4 as Antidote's not going to spot the man in the back, but it's a Judge. Antidote taken down. He's scratched up. 42 HP. Rafiel as well catches too much hurt, and they're going to die to the spike explosion.
Muji had no chance going into this retake. The Blitzkrieg approach from Reckoning Esports got them the site control before the round even began, dude. Like, as soon as the barrier drops, they pounce into the site. With brute force, they take the site for themselves. They then leave Trist with the Judge to its elbow, where it can be the most lethal tool in his arms. And the rest of Reckoning Esports just reinforce the A main lobby, making sure that OG can't climb down that ramp. It's a slippery slope leading straight to their deaths.
Reckoning Esports. Oh, really good. Trailblazer, man spotted instantly. The super flash combo as well to get the heaven control locked up. Aziz trying to turn the tide, but now he's also got a smoke in the front. So much visual denial being used from the opponents. OG, they don't know how to counter this, but they have got good positions, and that's why Reckoning Esports are going to accept that. But Flabin, got the timing nicely done. A little distraction created in the back of the bench, and then Deadly 10-2 catches a man looking by, fading away. Reckoning Esports, in the end, it's a switch on the opposite side.
They're just pushing and pulling OG into these uncomfortable spots and making them over-rotate and overthink themselves to death. The ace execute faked causes the rotation, and that's when Deadly punishes the people who are exiting the site. And as soon as he clears up the B site, the spike teleports back from the shadows all the way to its B. And once again, Reckoning bamboozle their opponents. OG left scratching their heads. And sure, they can hit the sites, sure they can hit those headshots. But how many headshots can you hit before you are able to have that coherent thought in your head? Able to figure out what Reckoning are up to? It's gonna be too late by the time you're able to get that coherence. Clear out all those doubts, all those fears which are now burrowing deep into your minds. At the start of this first half, I said that OG did manage to get Reckoning out of their heads, but apparently I was dead wrong now, wasn't I?
Yeah. Reckoning Esports not really having the crowd, or not really having a lot of the crowd on their side, but whatever they have, it's still working out. And those guys are able to power the players inside the arena. A tactical timeout pulled out from OG, and the coach definitely seems a little disappointed. Makes sense too, man. 12-5 is the score, especially against a team like OG and Reckoning Esports, a team that has made through the lower brackets. A reality check.
A harsh reality check from Orangutan. Their comfortable and cushy lifestyle all the way through the upper bracket, not dropping a single map in the entire split 2, made them think that they are immune to all the dangers and the pitfalls. But a team like Reckoning, the wolves that have been forged in the flames of the lower bracket, having to keep their iron will steadfast through that passage that preyed upon the weak, have now found whatever they require. And they're making OG into a bunch of puppets, the strings attached to their arms and legs, making them dance to their will. Every single move that Reckoning is making OG over-rotate, and then Reckoning predict those rotations to punish OG in the middle of the transitions. The brain games are on a whole new level from the wolves this time.
Yeah.
And the apes might just have a new king of the jungle unless Tesseract says otherwise.
I mean, Tesseract, man, not scared at all. Actually pushes against the odd and still gets the value down. Triss taken care of. This was a man who was able to find so much early game information, and now once again RGE gonna strike their foot on the site. Good return pick though from the side of Rafuel, and that's all he's gonna be able to find. But the return frag, even from the side of Reckoning Esports, they're quite dominant. Flabbing on the side, Hirsch.
No way!
He actually gets two of his own, and now he's also giving away a lifeline. One more to go in the name of Tesseract. Not a lot of HP, softened up, and
no way!
At the same time, Reckoning Esports, they get the victory secured on the third map of Split.
And they do it on the back of a 2 versus the world clutch. I really thought OG had that round in the bag. They stopped Reckoning in their tracks. They stopped Reckoning from transitioning over to the pillar. And then, when Flabbin was strapped, when he was down to the wire, in comes Harsh. Flying like a hero, he barrages his way through the B tower and drops into the site to rescue Flabbin out of danger. Rescue Reckoning from that imminent loss of a round, and straight into the next map.
Ooh, okay. Keep going.
That's called a heel toe.
Oh, man's got even moves, bro.
We always thought Flabbin was the one with the moves, but then Voya says, hey, no, I've got the fancy footwork too. And speaking of footwork, you saw how Voya was able to dodge that tripwire that RVK had placed, right? Makes sense that if he's got moves in the game, he's gonna have moves in real life too.
And I cannot forget about that round. Fake after fake after fake. Man, just playing with OG's mind. Tough to know what's going on with Reckoning. But, ladies and gentlemen, one thing's for sure. Reckoning's feeling it right now. Third match secured, 2-1's the scoreline. One more to go for Reckoning, want to seal the deal. It's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
चलो हमने ला चुका है, लगा लेती हूँ. एक्चुअली मैं ना, मुझे काम याद आ गया, शिट, जो मैंने किया नहीं. मैं थोड़े टाइम में आती हूँ लाइव. बाय बाय. अभी वॉच पार्टी ख़त्म इधर ही. मैं थोड़े टाइम में आती हूँ, कॉम ग्राइंड करेंगे. अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए मैं जाती हूँ. ओके बाय गाइस, बाय बाय. सॉरी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ड्रॉपिंग बाय. सी यू इन सम